Hey, welcome to this new video. This is part 7 of creating the player dev helper system. And this is the last part, so let's get right into it. So first, go into your player dev helper database script. Today we want to actually update the player in the database when they log out. So, go down a few lines, write function. And here we want to say update player in database, and this is just function name, so you don't need this, but I will just call it this. And I will call this, the argument coming in is gonna be player table, because we want the player here. We want the player table, so the selection of the GUID and everything. Then we want to go down a line or 2 lines and write end. Here we want to say jar db execute, because we are executing an update command into the database. And here we want to update, or sorry, my bad, it's actually database db or jar db query. That's my bad. I was looking up here. Sorry. So here we want to update. So we write update. This is the command called update. And we want to do it into the database table. So let's go ahead and log in here to the database, just so I can see what the database name is. That way I can make sure that I'm writing it correctly. So let me find it real quick here, and we have it here. So player dev helper underscore system. So I could basically just copy it here and go in here and paste it. Then I can say set in capital letters and then space. Now go outside of the quotes, do dot dot, and I will just do the space here. This is just so it's easier for us to read later down the line. So here we write quotes again, double quotes, and then we want to write the death count. So that would be death count, the column name. So death count and space equals and space again, and then outside of the quotes 2 dots again, and then say to number inside here the, so that would be player table dot the count, or I think it's the counter we called it. Let's just check. Def counter, yeah. Def counter. Then outside of the to number function, you do a new space, then 2 dots again, 2 new quotes, double quotes, comma, space. Side of the quotes again, we do 2 dots again. Next line down here, we then do the has earned reward checks. So these, we will need all of these. So we just copy this one, then we put it in here. Space equals space, and outside of the double quotes, dot dot to number. And here we say player table, and then we say dot has earned rewards. I think that's what we called the table. Yeah, has earned rewards. And then what you do here is basically you do the here to go into the array or the table and say 1. So this is the first. The first has reward 1. So that would be the first one here in the table. So like here, this is basically the table. So what you're looking at here, then when we say 1, we take this one. If we say 3, we take this. So let's head back into the database script. Now make here, you do a space outside the number to number, and dot dot, and again double quotes, comma, space, and here dot dot again. What we can now do is that we can take this code, then we can just make a new space here to move this down, and one more again, and one more again. So here we can paste this in, and we can paste this in again, and we can paste this in again. Now we just want to say 2 here, 3, reward 3 and 4. And over here we want to say 2, 3, 4. Now we have, so we save these has reward values. And the last thing we need to do is double quotes again. And then we say, oh, my bad, we need to actually stop with the comma because we don't need any more values. So now we do the double quotes again, and then we say where GUID equals, and then outside the double quotes you do dot dot to number, and inside here you set the GUID. So that would be the player table dot player object colon get GUID low, because that's the function on the player object to get the GUID. So now we actually have the update in functionality created. The last thing we need to do now is actually just call this when we log out. So in here, in our core script, go down to the player on player logout, and here inside where we remove the player, first what we want to do is we want to first we want to say we need a let's go back to the database script. In here we need to return or expose this new function. So update player on database equals update player on database, and remember to make a comma up here. Now we can get this function in all the other scripts. So now we head back to database to the player def helper underscore core. Here we want to go into the database, so we take this value to access the database script. We go down to our on-player logout, we paste it in here, we say dot, and then we want to call the update player in database. In here we want to send the player who we just got, or who is logging out. That will say player list, and in here we want the GUID. The GUID is to get the player in the list. And now what we are basically doing here is saving the player. So let me head inside WoW now, and we can actually test this out and see if everything works. I actually forgot a thing here, since I'm so forgetful. Here we actually need to update the player object in the player list. Otherwise we can't call the function. So we need to say player list GUID, and then we can say player object equals to player. And now we can head back into WoW and try this out. So let me reload Eluna. And now let's head back into WoW. You can see my character is already dead. Let's just head inside. Let's check the database, and we can see here my death count is 0 or 1, sorry. And now let's resurrect. Let's die again. Come on. Yes. Now let's try to log out. And we logged out. And now let's reload the database table. Oh, wrong button. Reload, and you see it says 2. So now, if I remove the hash reward 1 and say that we have a dev count of 1, so that next time we die, we get the hash rewards 1. Now I can head back into the game, and I can say I can revive real fast. And now when I die, I should... Yep, I had 400 gold. I now have 500. And let's then head outside the game again, so log out. Let's head into the database. And let's check, it should say 2 here and 1 here. Refresh, and it says 2 here and 1 here. So everything works. So I can show you if we set 3 here, then next time we die, it should add up to the hash reward. So it should say 1. So now let's go ahead and revive real fast, and let's die. And as you see, I got some more gold. And let's log out. Let's go back into the database and let's refresh. And now it says 4 devs and 1 here. So everything works in the database table, which is amazing to see. So now I want to add a little bit of like an extra thing to this. So what we want to do now is we want to go under the database, oh no, not the database, the Eluna documentation. So let me find that real quick. And we are now on the documentation. Now let's look for player or send area trigger message. The reason for this area trigger message is because this works much better for like giving a message on top of the screen here, like when you walk into a new area. So let's use this code. So in our script here, what we can do is go to your reward system, and then inside our give player reward, what you want to do here, it's actually say player object, if I could spell, and then say send area, what was it again? Area trigger message here. And then in here, we want to say something. So, hello. What should we write? No, let's say greetings. Oh, not like that. Greetings, traveler. You have been granted a helping hand by the gods. Check your inventory and a exclamation mark. Yes, let's now head inside. Let's again reload Eluna. Let me just, oh, wrong button. Oh, wrong. Yep. Let me reload Eluna. Now let's head inside. And I actually forgot something, but that doesn't matter. Let's die once. And we need to die one more time to get the message. And here you say, you see, greetings, traveler. You have been granted a helping hand by the gods. The resurrection window thing is blocking it, but yeah, that works correctly now. So that was just like a little extra thing I wanted to show. So you could create a new table with a bunch of these messages. And then if you wanted, you could do something like a random message to pop up here. Or you could go into your config file, create a new table, and in that table you could like give 4 different messages depending on which of the rewards you get. But that was all for this series and all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider leaving a like and a subscribe, and leave a comment down below if you have any ideas or recommendations on something you would like me to create a video on. See you in the next one.